Welcome back, paranormal seekers, to Cold World Files. Today, we've got a spine-chilling viewer submission that'll make you rethink those camping trips. Daniel Carter from Eureka, California, sent us a letter about his terrifying encounter with a Bigfoot in Mendocino's rugged wilderness. This story is packed with eerie details, and it's a full 15-minute ride. So grab a snack, dim the lights, and let's dive into Daniel's tale. Here's his letter, read verbatim. Don't forget to stick around for our thoughts at the end. Dear Cold World Files, my name is Daniel Carter. I'm a 42-year-old carpenter from Eureka, California, and I've never been one for ghost stories or cryptids. But what happened to me in Mendocino's Jackson Demonstration State Forest last August shook me to my core. I'm writing to share my story, hoping someone out there can help me make sense of it. I swear every word is true. I've camped in Mendocino for years. The redwoods, the quiet trails, the ocean breeze, it's my escape from the daily grind. On August 12, 2023, I drove out to Jackson Forest, a 48,000-acre expanse of towering trees and winding paths. About 10 miles inland from Fort Bragg, I chose a remote spot, off Forest Road 600, deep in the woods, where I could be alone. No cell service, no distractions, just me, my tent, and a fire pit. The first night was peaceful. I hiked, fished in a nearby creek, and fell asleep to the sound of owls. But the second night, everything changed. It was around 2 a.m. when I woke to a strange noise, a low, guttural grunt, like nothing I'd ever heard. It wasn't a bear or a mountain lion. I know those sounds well. This was deeper, almost human-like, but wrong. My campfire had died down to embers, and the forest was pitch black, save for a half-moon peeking through the canopy. I sat up in my tent, heart racing, and listened. The grunt came again, closer this time, maybe 50 yards away. Then, I heard heavy footsteps, deliberate, crunching on the pine needles. Whatever it was big. I grabbed my flashlight and my hunting knife, though I felt foolish thinking a knife would help. I unzipped my tent just enough to peek out, sweeping the light across the trees. Nothing. The forest was silent again, but the air felt thick, like a storm was brewing. When I got back to Fort Bragg, I stopped at a diner and asked locals about Bigfoot. An older Pomo woman overheard me and said, "You met the Forest Man." She explained that the Pomo people have stories of a guardian spirit, a hairy giant who protects the woods. She said it only shows itself when it feels the land is threatened, like by logging or disrespect. I hadn't littered or damaged anything, but I wondered if my campfire had upset it. I've tried to move on, but I can't shake that night. I dream about those glowing eyes. Did I mention the eyes? When my flashlight hit that shadow, I saw two amber eyes, reflective like a cat's, staring back. They weren't angry, but they were intense, like they saw right through me. I haven't camped since, and I avoid Mendocino now. I'm not saying it was Bigfoot. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't human, and it wasn't an animal I recognize. I'm hoping your viewers might have answers. Has anyone else seen this thing in Jackson Forest? Are there Pomo legends that explain it? Please share my story. I need to know I'm not crazy. Thank you. Daniel Carter. Wow, Daniel's story is intense. A massive creature, glowing eyes, tree knockings, and those footprints in Mendocino's Jackson Forest? That screams Bigfoot to us, but could it be the Pomo's Forest Man guardian? Mendocino's redwood country has long been a Bigfoot hotspot. Sightings date back decades, and the Pomo have oral traditions of hairy giants protecting the land. Daniel's encounter lines up with classic Sasquatch signs, the musky smell, the growls, and those deliberate knockings. But what do you think? Was Daniel stalked by a Bigfoot, a spirit, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've had a cryptid encounter in Mendocino or beyond, send us your story at channel email. We'd love to feature it. Before we go, a quick shout out to the Mendocino area's history. Jackson Demonstration State Forest is managed for sustainable logging, which some say disturbs the land's balance. Could Daniel's campfire or human presence have triggered this encounter? Let's speculate in the comments. If you enjoyed this chilling tale, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more paranormal stories every week. Check out our playlist on Bigfoot sightings for more hairy encounters. And visit www.visitmendocino.com to learn about the region's spooky history. Stay curious and watch the woods, folks. We'll see you next time. I tried to convince myself it was a deer or a raccoon. But then I smelled it, a foul, musky odor, like wet fur mixed with rotting meat. It hit me so hard I gagged. That's when I heard a new sound, a slow, rhythmic thumping, like wood being struck against a tree. It echoed through the forest, steady and intentional. I'd read about Bigfoot stories, locals in Mendocino talk about knockings, but I'd always laughed them off. Not anymore. I stayed in my tent, barely breathing, clutching the knife. The thumping stopped, and for a moment, I thought it was over. Then, I heard branches snapping, closer now, maybe 20 yards from my camp. My flashlight beam caught movement, a shadow, massive and upright, slipping behind a redwood. It was too tall for a man, easily 7 or 8 feet, and it moved with a fluid grace that didn't match any animal I know. I don't know why, but I whispered, "Who's there?" My voice trembled, and I regretted it instantly. The forest went dead silent, and then, oh God, I heard a response. It wasn't words, but a low, guttural growl that vibrated in my chest. It felt like a warning. I turned off the flashlight, hoping darkness would hide me, and sat frozen as the footsteps circled my camp. They were slow, methodical, like it was sizing me up. The smell grew stronger, and I could hear its breathing, deep, raspy, almost labored. At one point, it stopped right outside my tent. I could see the fabric shift slightly, as if something pressed against it. I held my breath, praying it wouldn't rip through. After what felt like an eternity, the footsteps retreated and the smell faded. I didn't move until dawn, when birdsong finally broke the silence. At first light, I packed up and hiked out, checking the area for signs. I found footprints, huge, at least 15 inches long, with 5 toes, pressed deep into the soil near my tent. They weren't bear tracks. They were human-like, but impossibly large. I also found a broken branch on a nearby tree, snapped clean at 7 feet off the ground, too high for me to reach. I took photos, but they're blurry. I was shaking too much.